All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Sunil Verma and with me is Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges youth to contribute selflessly and constructively in politics. Supreme Court stays 3 new farm laws, forms committee to resolve the crisis. Government urges farming community to take advantage of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which completes 5 years. Karnataka cabinet expansion to take place this afternoon. And India proposes 8-point agenda to United Nations Security Council to combat terrorism. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin the message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, and focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that the new national education policy focuses on development of better individuals and from better individuals to a better country. Addressing the valedictory function of the 2nd National Youth Parliament Festival yesterday through video conferencing, Mr. Modi said this policy gives priority to our youth's understanding, their decisions and beliefs.
आज जो देश में नई नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी लागू की गई है, उसका भी बहुत बड़ा फोकस बेहतर इंडिविजुअल्स के निर्माण पर है। व्यक्ति निर्माण से राष्ट्र निर्माण। ये पॉलिसी युवाओं की इच्छा, युवाओं के कौशल, युवाओं की समझ, युवाओं के फैसले को सर्वोच्च प्राथमिकता देती है। अब चाहे जो सब्जेक्ट चुनिए, चाहे जो कॉम्बिनेशन चुनिए, चाहे जो स्ट्रीम चुनिए, एक कोर्स को ब्रेक देकर आप दूसरा कोर्स शुरू करना चाहें तो आप वो भी कर सकते हैं। अब ये नहीं होगा कि पहले वाले कोर्स के लिए आपने जो मेहनत की थी वो बेकार हो जाएगी। आपको उतनी पढ़ाई का भी सर्टिफिकेट मिल जाएगा जो आगे ले जाएगा।
The Prime Minister said the new national education policy is a step towards nation building and the government is building an ecosystem which will give better opportunities to the youth. Mr. Modi said that our youth should come forward and write the destiny of our country. He exhorted the youth to contribute selflessly and constructively in politics.
लेना पाना बनने के इरादे से नहीं, कुछ कर गुजरने के इरादे से आइए। आप अपनी सोच, अपने विजन को लेकर आगे बढ़े। एक साथ मिलकर के काम करें, जुट करके काम करें, डट करके काम करें। याद रखिएगा, जब तक देश का सामान्य युवा राजनीति में नहीं आएगा, वंशवाद का ये जहर इसी तरह हमारे लोकतंत्र को कमजोर करता रहे। इस देश के लोकतंत्र को बचाने के लिए आपका राजनीति में आना जरूरी। और ये जो लगातार हमारे युवा विभाग के द्वारा मॉक संसद के कार्यक्रम चलाए जा रहे हैं, देश के विषयों पर युवा मित्र मिलकर के चर्चा करें, देश के युवाओं को भारत के सेंट्रल हॉल तक लाया जाए, इसके पीछे मकसद भी यही है कि देश की नई युवा पीढ़ी को हम तैयार करें।
Mr. Modi said earlier there was a perception in the country that if a young man turned to politics, people used to say that the child is getting spoiled. He said people believed that everything can change but politics cannot. The Prime Minister said today honest people are also getting a chance in politics. Honesty in performance is becoming the first mandatory condition of today's politics. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has lauded the winners and final panelists of the 2nd National Youth Parliament Festival. Mr. Modi said as he was hearing them speak, a thought came to him and he decided that he will tweet their presentations from his Twitter handle, not just of the 3 winners, but if recorded material is available, he will tweet the speeches of all those who were on the final panel. Later, the Prime Minister tweeted the speeches of the winners and final panelists of the 2nd National Youth Parliament Festival from his Twitter handle. Tweeting the speech of the first prize winner, Mudita Mishra, who is from Uttar Pradesh, Mr. Modi said that in her speech on Vocal for Local, she effectively describes that India has now awakened.
The Supreme Court has put a stay on the implementation of the 3 farm laws until further orders. It has also set up a committee of agricultural experts to facilitate talks between the centre and farmers' unions to resolve the impasse. The apex court said it was trying to solve the problem in the best way and had the power to suspend the laws. The bench, headed by Chief Justice of India, S.A. Bobde, and comprising Justices A.S. Bopanna and V. Ramasubramanian, said those genuinely interested in finding a solution would appear before the committee. The bench was hearing a batch of petitions regarding the constitutional validity of the 3 farm laws passed by Parliament and a plea to disperse the protesting farmers. The bench said it is concerned about the validity of the laws and also about protecting the life and property of citizens affected by the agitation. The apex court also issued notice to farmers' unions on a Delhi police plea to stop a tractor rally during the January 26 Republic Day parade. The centre has urged the farming community to take advantage of the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana or PMFBY, which completed 5 years yesterday, in order to make farmers self-reliant. In a statement, the Union Agriculture Ministry said claims worth 90,000 crore rupees have so far been dispersed to farmers since the launch of the scheme on 13th January 2016. The scheme was conceived as a milestone initiative to provide comprehensive risk solution at the lowest uniform premium across the country for farmers. The Ministry of Agriculture has said that the average sum insured per hectare has increased from 15,100 previously to 40,700 under the Yojana. More from our correspondent.
With an aim to constantly bring out improvements, the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana was made voluntary for all farmers post its revamp in February 2020. Besides, the states have also been provided flexibility to rationalize the sum insured so that adequate benefits can be availed by the farmers. The scheme covers over 5.5 crore farmers' applications year on year, and till date, claims worth 90,000 crore rupees have already been paid out under the scheme. Aadhaar seeding has helped in speedy claim settlement directly into the farmers' accounts. Even during COVID-19 lockdown period, nearly 70 lakh farmers benefited and claims worth over 8,741 crore rupees were transferred to the beneficiaries. The government has urged the farmers to take advantage of the scheme by associating themselves to become self-sufficient in times of crisis and support the creation of an Atmanirbhar Kisan. With Mohammad Nasim Naqvi, Anand Kumar, AIR News, Delhi.
The government has said that nearly 72.46 lakh farmers have been benefited so far from the ongoing Kharif marketing season KMS procurement operations with MSP value of over 1,02,000 crore rupees. Ministry of Agriculture in a statement said that paddy procurement for Kharif 2020-21 is continuing smoothly in various states. It said so far over 541 lakh metric tons of paddy have been procured, which is an increase of 26.07% against the last year corresponding purchase of 429.2 lakh metric tons. The ministry said, based on the proposal from the states, approval was accorded for procurement of 51.66 lakh metric tons of pulse and oil seeds of Kharif marketing season 2020 under price support scheme. Union Health Ministry has said that the central government is maintaining close collaboration with states and union territories for the launch of the world's largest COVID-19 vaccination drive, and all preparations are on track for the vaccine rollout from 16th of January. Addressing media in New Delhi, Union Health Secretary Rajesh Bhushan said that it is expected of the states that all logistics should be ready for vaccination rollout and they ensure personal involvement in the entire process at the highest level. Cost for vaccination of healthcare and frontline workers will be borne by the central government. The number of healthcare workers are about 1 crore. Frontline workers are 2 crore and 27 crore people are of prioritized groups. Mr. Bhushan said there are 4 other COVID-19 vaccines which will be manufactured in India and will be available soon.
उसके अलावा ये 4 वैक्सीन हैं जो या तो भारत में ही जिनका रिसर्च और डेवलपमेंट हुआ है या जो भारत में मैन्युफैक्चर किए जाएंगे वो भी पाइपलाइन में हैं और शीघ्र ही उपलब्ध होने की संभावना है। पहली वैक्सीन है जाइडस कैडिला की वैक्सीन स्पुतनिक वी गमालिया इंस्टीट्यूट रशिया के द्वारा विकसित की गई वैक्सीन है। बायोलॉजिकल इवांस ये हैदराबाद में आधारित कंपनी है। जीनोवा ये पुणे में आधारित कंपनी है।
Mr. Bhushan said the government of India has agreed to procure 110 lakh doses of Covishield from the Serum Institute of India at a cost of 200 rupees per dose. He said 55 lakh doses of Covaxin are being procured from Bharat Biotech, out of which 16.5 lakh doses are provided free of cost to the government, while the rate of the rest of the 38.5 lakh doses will be 295 rupees per dose. Hence, the cost of Covaxin will be 206 rupees per dose.
Madhya Pradesh is all set to launch the COVID vaccination drive from January 16, along with the rest of the country. Vaccine doses are expected to arrive today in the state. Meanwhile, the state reported 471 corona-positive cases on Tuesday. More from our Bhopal correspondent.
In the first phase of COVID vaccination, 4,16,000 health workers have been registered, including 85,000 private health workers along with all government health workers. The work of registration for COVID vaccination of frontline workers, including police personnel, security personnel, home guards and sanitation workers is underway. The last date of registration is 25th January. Meanwhile, the COVID positive rate has gone down below 2% on Tuesday. Consistently, the number of corona-positive cases is declining in the state. Pooja P. Vardhan, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Bihar, 30,000 health workers will be vaccinated on the first day of the vaccination program, that is on January 16. Health Minister Mangal Pandey said altogether 100 people at each of the 300 centers in the state will be administered the shots on the inaugural day. On this occasion, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar will be present at a vaccination centre in Patna. Health Minister Mr. Pandey said those who registered for the vaccination would receive notification via SMS. 25th January is the last day to get registered for the first phase of the vaccination drive. The first consignment of 54,900 vials of Covishield vaccine of Serum Institute of India has already reached Patna.
Gujarat has recorded 602 new cases of COVID-19 during the last 24 hours. According to the State Health Department, the recovery rate has further improved to 95.34%. More from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
The total number of COVID-19 cases detected so far in Gujarat has reached up to 2,53,161. Out of this, 2,41,372 patients recovered. 855 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. Maximum 133 new cases reported from Ahmedabad, while Surat recorded 121 new cases. At present, total active cases in the state are 7,439, out of which 58 patients are on ventilator. 3 patients died yesterday due to COVID-19. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Karnataka reported 751 new COVID-19 cases, 1,183 recoveries and 5 deaths during the last 24 hours. At present, 8,909 people are under treatment in various hospitals in the state. Meanwhile, the state received the first consignment of COVID-19 vaccines yesterday. More from our Bengaluru correspondent.
Karnataka Health Minister Dr. K. Sudhakar has said that the state received 6.48 lakh doses of COVID vaccine in 54 boxes from the Serum Institute of Pune yesterday. Today, 1.40 lakh doses of COVID vaccine will reach Belagavi in North Karnataka. The minister further said that all health warriors who are relentlessly working in fight against COVID-19 will get the vaccine in the first phase starting January 16. Guidelines for administering COVID vaccine will be issued very shortly, and 2 lakh staffs have been trained to administer the vaccines. R. Murthy, AIR News, Bengaluru.
In Andaman and Nicobar, the COVID-19 vaccination drive is going to begin from the 16th of January. In the first phase, Covishield will be given to 4,687 healthcare workers. This includes ASHA and Anganwadi workers along with ICMR functionaries and defense healthcare personnel as well. Initially, the vaccination will be carried out at 2 sites in Port Blair, GB Pant Hospital and Ayush Hospital, which will be later extended to other 6 sites located at different islands. A total of 100 to 200 beneficiaries will be vaccinated in a day under the supervision of a team consisting of 5 members. Meanwhile, the first lot of vaccines, consisting of about 6,500 doses, is reaching Port Blair this afternoon. After the first phase, the vaccine will be made available to 6,000 frontline workers.
The country's COVID-19 recovery rate has reached 96.49%. More than 18,000 COVID patients recovered in the last 24 hours. The total number of recoveries has gone up to over 1 crore 1 lakh. The Health Ministry said the COVID-19 recovery rate of India is among the highest in the world. A total of 386 new confirmed cases of coronavirus infection were reported in Delhi in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of cases to 6,30,892. The Delhi government said that 6,17,006 people affected with coronavirus have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 545 people recovered and 16 deaths were reported in the city, taking the toll to 10,707. Presently, the total number of active cases in the national capital is 3,179.
The World Health Organization (WHO) team of international experts to investigate the origin of the novel coronavirus will arrive in the Chinese city of Wuhan from Singapore tomorrow. This was informed by the Chinese Foreign Ministry, but the ministry did not give further details on the mission's itinerary. Earlier, the WHO chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus has said the World Health Body looked forward to working with China on the mission to identify the source of the virus and how it entered the human population. The coronavirus was first detected in the central city of Wuhan in late 2019 and has since spread around the world, infecting more than 90,500,000 people and killing nearly 2 million. China is stepping up measures to contain a possible widespread coronavirus outbreak in areas surrounding capital Beijing, with Langfang city in Hebei province put under lockdown on Tuesday. Beijing also shut highways from the neighboring province amid rising infections. In total, about 22 million people in three cities, Shijiazhuang, Xingtai and Langfang of Hebei province, neighboring the capital Beijing, have been put under COVID-19 lockdown as of Tuesday. Vehicles and people in the three cities are not allowed to leave unless necessary, Hebei authorities said at a news briefing on Tuesday. Since January the 2nd, Hebei province has reported a total of 326 COVID-19 cases as of Tuesday and 234 asymptomatic carriers.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges youth to contribute selflessly and constructively in politics. Supreme Court stays 3 new farm laws, forms committee to resolve the crisis. Government urges farming community to take advantage of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which completes 5 years. Karnataka cabinet expansion to take place this afternoon. And India proposes 8-point agenda to United Nations Security Council to combat terrorism. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Karnataka Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa is expanding his cabinet, and the oath-taking ceremony will be held today afternoon. Speaking to media persons in Bengaluru yesterday, the Chief Minister said that 7 to 8 legislators will be sworn in by the Governor. The state cabinet has a total strength of 34 and 7 seats are vacant at present. This will be the third expansion since Yediyurappa took over as CM in July 2019. In August 2019, 17 ministers were inducted, while in February 2020, 10 newcomers to the BJP were inducted into the cabinet. The Chief Minister had met BJP National President JP Nadda and other senior leaders of the party in New Delhi recently before announcing the cabinet expansion. Our correspondent adds that cabinet expansion derives importance in the event of by-election to Maski and Basavakalyana assembly segments and Belagavi Lok Sabha seat, which is vacant after the death of former Union Minister Suresh Angadi. A 4-member team of the Election Commission, led by Deputy Election Commissioner Sudeep Jain, is visiting Kolkata to check the preparedness of the upcoming assembly elections. They will be meeting with the district magistrates, police commissioners and superintendents today. DM NSPs of faraway districts of North Bengal will be joining the meeting through video conference. The Chief Electoral Officer and District Electoral Officers will also attend the meeting. The ECI team will also take stock of the law and order situation of the state as well as preparation of the voter list. The meeting of the Parliamentary Consultative Committee of the Ministry of Commerce and Industry was held on the subject New Foreign Trade Policy 2021-26.
The meeting was chaired by the Minister of State for Commerce and Industry, Hardeep Singh Puri, and attended by members of Parliament and senior officers of the ministry. During the meeting, it was informed that the new foreign trade policy will come into effect from 1st of April 2021 for a period of 5 years. The policy will strive to make India a leader in the area of international trade and channelize the synergies gained through merchandise and services exports for growth and employment, with a goal to make India a $5 trillion economy. As part of the 72nd Republic Day celebrations, the Ministry of Defence and various other central ministries have planned a number of activities to create a festive and patriotic mood across the nation. The Ministry of Defence in a statement said that an online quiz contest on the subject of 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War is being conducted by it in association with MyGov from the 11th to 22nd of January 2021. It also said that live band concerts across the country are being conducted by the Indian Army, Indian Navy, Indian Air Force and the police from the 10th to 22nd of this month. The ministry will also launch the revamped Gallantry Awards interactive website on 25th of January. Besides, an online Bharat Parv will be conducted by the Ministry of Tourism from the 26th to 31st of this month.
Another feather is going to be added in the cap of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's constituency, Varanasi. The city, famous for its silk saris, is now going to export quality fabric to multinational companies. The Japanese lifestyle retailer Uniqlo is planning to bulk purchase the raw material for its stylish clothing from Kashi. More from our correspondent.
After successfully exporting the Langda and the Shahri variety of mangoes, green peas and green chilies from neighboring Ghazipur and black rice from Chandoli district, Varanasi city is going to make its mark in export of fabric also. The Japanese company Uniqlo will bulk purchase the raw material for its fabric from Varanasi, and very soon the representatives of company will make ground visit and meet with the weavers here. The Japanese multinational is interested to purchase raw material from Varanasi and will process it in a factory in Gujarat. The deal will definitely help the weaving industry of Varanasi, where weaving is typically done in household from ancient times. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
The government of Odisha has waived the examination fees for matriculation students of ongoing academic session. Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik yesterday ordered the waiver in the larger interest of the students. Our Bhubaneswar correspondent reports that more than 6 lakh students will stand to benefit from this decision.
Though the decision to exempt the students from paying their exam fees entails about 27 crore rupees as cost to the government, no student of the schools under the Board of Secondary Education Odisha will be deprived of sitting for the matriculation examination due to want of money. The government understands that the pandemic has impacted the finances of many of the parents. Meanwhile, classes for the 10th and 12th standard have resumed from the 8th of this month after a long gap of 9 months with a fair degree of attendance. While the classes are meant to offset the academic loss of the students, the waiver of 420 rupees as exam fees per head will help them pin their focus on their academic preparation and performance. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In Telangana, Makara Sankranti festivities commenced with people celebrating Bhogi today with traditional fervour and gaiety. Our correspondent says the 3-day post-harvest festival is being celebrated across the state, but predominantly in rural areas, as all segments of society are celebrating the festival with much pomp.
The upcoming vaccination process to be rolled out nationwide has made Sankranti festivities more joyful for people of Telangana this time. The first day of Sankranti festivities began with Bhogi Mantalu, that is bonfire lit early this morning. People along with children came out in large numbers to light the bonfire at the street corners and crossroads. They burnt their old and unused belongings in the fire as a symbol to get rid of the bad and evil. People are inviting the Sankranti Lakshmi, a symbol of prosperity, by decorating their houses traditionally with colorful rangoli, mango leaves and flowers. The 3-day festivities are predominant in rural areas across the state as farmers reap their harvest before the festival. Lakshmi, AIR News, Hyderabad.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar has said that COVID-19 has further aggravated the terrorism concerns for the world. Speaking at the UN Security Council open debate on the topic of threats to international peace and security caused by terrorist acts, Dr. Jaishankar said the economic uncertainty caused due to the pandemic has made the radical extremist ideologies more susceptible towards terrorist activities. The External Affairs Minister proposed an 8-point action plan in order to combat the menace of terrorism. He said the Council should not countenance double standards in their battle against terrorism.
India has been itself battling terrorism for many decades with great resolve. These proposals have been framed with the interests of the entire international community in mind. It is time that all nations walk the talk against terrorism and commit themselves to the goal of zero tolerance.
Dr. Jaishankar added that there are no good and bad terrorists. He asserted those who propagate such distinctions have an agenda and those who cover up for terrorists are equally culpable. He urged the Council members to stand united in the fight against terrorism. External Affairs Minister gave a call to all the member nations to fulfill the obligations enshrined in the international counter-terrorism instruments. He said enlisting and delisting individuals and entities under the UN sanctions regimes must be done objectively and not for political or religious considerations.
We must firmly discourage exclusivist thinking that divides the world and harms our social fabric. Such approaches facilitate radicalization and recruitment by breeding fear, mistrust, and hatred among different communities. Enlisting and delisting individuals and entities under the UN sanctions regime must be done objectively, not for political or religious considerations.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Srinagar, Jammu and Gilgit had fog or mist in the morning. However, the day is expected to be sunny in these places. In Srinagar, the temperature will hover between -1 degree Celsius and 6 degrees. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 9 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 15 degrees. In Gilgit, the lower limit of temperature was -5 degrees and maximum of 11 degrees Celsius. The minimum temperature in Chandigarh was 9 degrees Celsius and maximum will be 13 degrees Celsius. The day is expected to have clear sky. The national capital witnessed mist in the morning. The city observed a minimum temperature of 4 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be nearly 18 degrees. Mumbai will have mainly clear sky. Chennai will also have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Kolkata, after a misty morning, is expected to have a clear sky.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most dailies lead with the news of the Supreme Court staying the farm laws. SC stays new farm laws, forms 4-member panel, headlines Business Standard. SC stays 3 farm laws for fruitful parleys, writes The Pioneer. India's biggest vaccine rollout begins as SII ships 55 lakh doses, reads the headline in the Times of India. Vaccines hit the road. Over 50 lakh doses are shipped across India, writes Indian Express. Covishield delivery begins. 13 cities receive first batch, reports the Tribune. The Hindu quotes the Health Secretary as clarifying that recipients do not have the option to select between the 2 vaccines. Don't drop your guard as vaccine acts 14 days after second dose, says the centre, reports the Pioneer. India's COVID-19 vaccines cheapest in the world, writes the Hindu Business Line. India logs 12,584 new cases, lowest in 7 months, reports the Statesman. Cold to worsen over next 4 days, warns the Tribune. And finally, in some good news for wildlife enthusiasts, the Aravalis in Gurgaon and Faridabad harbour a rich variety of animals, leopards, hyenas and jackals amongst them, reports the Times of India.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi urges youth to contribute selflessly and constructively in politics. Supreme Court stays 3 new farm laws, forms committee to resolve the crisis. Government urges farming community to take advantage of Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, which completes 5 years. Karnataka cabinet expansion to take place this afternoon, and India proposes 8-point agenda to United Nations Security Council to combat terrorism. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.